In this video, I'm going to show you how to do Survey CAD. So we're going to be looking at recorded plats. So we'll have to go to the clerk of the circuit courts and download plat information. From that plat information, we're going to recreate it because most companies won't give you their AutoCAD file, which would be nice, but we don't need it. We can use the bearings and distances and actually recreate the plat. Now the purpose of this is if a client requires you to stake the lots, then you can relay out the plat and stake the lots on the ground. And we also use this to do lot fits. So certain houses will fit on certain lots based on the setbacks and the easements that are on the recorded plat. So let me get started by showing you where the clerk of circuit courts information is for an example plat. So the example that we're looking at is actually in Lake County, Florida. So what I typed into the Google is Lake County Clerk of Courts, and I've got two options. I could either do the record search or the official record search. I'm going to go ahead and start here and show you how the process goes. So I'm going to do a record search. There's all different types of records that you can find through the circuit of the clerk of the circuit court. So I'm actually looking at the official records in Lake County because that's where my project's at. Now you have to know the deed book and page number for the plat that you're working on. And typically you can find that through the property appraiser's office or someone will give it to you. So I know the deed book and page number. Now the type of book that I'll be looking for is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and change this to plat and done. And I'm going to say it is book 68, and it's going to be pages 58 through 60, but I'm going to start with 58. Now, that's going to come up with this deed book and page number, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. It pops up, and there's 3 pages to this. I'm going to expand this out a little bit so you can see it. All right. Now, in this, it only shows me the first page, and on the first page, we'll be looking at Eagle Point. Our project site is actually going to be lower than this, so we're actually bounded by this property here and this property here. But what's on a plat is going to be the legal description for the overall site. The next thing is going to be the surveyor's notes. That means the bearings and distances, what are they met off of, the recorded pages, recorded deed book and page numbers that are around it, utility easements. Notice this one says a 10-foot wide utility drainage easement reserved to the adjacent lots of the right-of-ways. There's different tracks shown on here. It always shows a key map. It also shows a site layout plan, and it also has the information over here on this side. Let me move this out a little bit. This information on this side is the dedication page, and it goes through the different people that have to sign off on the plat, whether it's the municipality, the clerk, surveyor's review statement, the certificate of the actual surveyor. So somebody reviews it and somebody is actually responsible for it. It also has the state of Florida requirements and witnesses. It also has the county itself as their recording, the recording point of the plat. Now, this is only the first page, so I'm going to click here to get the remaining pages. This is 3 pages of the plat. Now, I just want to show you where we get the information and what's on it. So the next page here, you can see that it's got a found disk and it's tying it to a known point. And then you have all the bearings and distances on the plat itself. So there's, when you see C in a notation, that means it's a curve, and there's a curve table on the plan also. So here's the curve table on this. Now, you also have information that, notice on this one, it says bearings and distances, it's darker, and it has 200.32 feet. That's between this point here and this point here. Now, there is 91.05, and the NR means non-radial, so this arc isn't radial to this point here. It's 91.05 feet, but it's also using the same bearing. There's a 20-foot track through between the lots. You can see the C65, so you'd have to go over to that table, find what that C65 is. And this is 89 feet from this point here to here. If I added up the 9105, the 20, and the 8927, it should equal the overall distance from this PT point to this PC point. Also, you'll notice that this line, it says the southern line of Plat book, that's what PB stands for, of 66, pages 51 through 30, or 51 through 53. Now, what's in dark through this entire area is the bounded area of the property that's being platted up here. So you'll see in this legal description, it starts off a tract of land being a portion of parcels, blah, 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 the Eagle Point Phase 1 according to the plat thereof, and then it goes on to explain commencing at a certain point on the layout. Now, what I'm going to have you do in this exercise is I'm going to give you a plat, and it's going to have a start point. Also notice right here it has a northing and easting, so I can actually start creating the plat or recreating it because maybe somebody didn't give me the AutoCAD files. So I have to recreate the plat based on a northing and then the bearings and distances and the radial information. Like this arc has a radius of 25, a delta of 94 degrees, 45 minutes and 32 seconds. The total length is 41. There's a chord length between this point and this point that is 36.79. And then there's also a chord bearing. So it's going southeast at a bearing angle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here. I'm going to download this for you all to review also, but I'm going to give you a PDF of the area that I want you all to recreate, and I'll do an example of that and get you started. So I'm going to pause here for this. So the example I'm going to show you is, this is the plat that we just looked at from the Clerk of Courts. So we're going to start up here, and the area that we're looking at is in the overall, is this area here. I'm going to have you recreate this. So we can see that we have a start point here and we'll be moving around. So to get you a little bit closer, this is the area that I'm interested in starting to create. Your job is to create these two full lots from 268 to 279 and 304 to 294. So I'm just going to ask you to do this section in here. But I'm going to start and show you how to do this portion up here. Okay? So I'm going to pause here and then we're going to get started in CAD.